Take a look at this camera, the Hasselblad 907X. Oh, hello by the way. It's a thing of beauty, isn't it? Simple, modular, and no doubt a joy to shoot with. And how about this camera, the new Sigma BF? A radical and bold new design that aims to rip up the rulebook on how cameras are designed and used. And then this one I actually do own. It's the Ricoh GR3. Love this camera as it's such a joy to use. It fits in your pocket, packs a punch, and can put many other larger cameras to shame. And finally this, the Apple iPhone. Not a camera, a phone of course, but with a camera built in. The modern camera in many ways and shares one feature that all those others do. Well, admits the feature that all the others do, should I say. And what is that? Yep, a viewfinder. These all rely on using their LCD screens for you to set up and compose your images. Most traditional cameras have a viewfinder of course, but these cameras don't. And therefore, for many of you out there, these are all a no-go as far as your chosen image capture device is concerned. You won't touch them. Well, you may have a phone, but you personally don't like using it to take pictures either. And I get that. I'm with you on that one. Well, I used to be. I too used to have that point of view, but my attitude has changed now, and I think I actually prefer shooting with the LCD screen. Most of my images these days are captured this way, and I believe my images, my compositions have improved by bypassing the viewfinder. And in this video, I'll tell you why. But first, as always, it's that E6 sales pitch. Well, the last one didn't work. Not all of you signed up. I don't know why. It's fantastic value for money, even if I do say so myself. If I didn't run it, I know I would subscribe. If I wanted to see more of me and how I take pictures, I know I'd subscribe. If I wanted written advice as well as videos, I know where I'd get that. If I wanted those amazing looking ebooks and I knew they were included in the price, I think I was getting a bargain. The fact that you also get a podcast, image reviews and discount off some amazing looking workshops, well, I'm spoiling you now. I know I would head straight to craigrobertsphotography.co.uk and subscribe right away. Well, if that is you, if you do insist on your camera having a proper viewfinder, let me ask you this. If you will only use a camera with a viewfinder and that is your way of shooting, why are you still cropping your images in post? Now, that may only apply to half of you out there, and for those of you that don't crop, you're let off for now. I'll come back to you later. But for those of you that do, why is that? Why do you need to recrop your images if you've perfected them in camera at the time of shooting with the optimal viewfinder viewing experience? An LCD screen capture may be seen as less precise, but if you are using a viewfinder, surely this should eliminate any poor compositions. So, I first started using the LCD screen to view and compose when I owned the Canon 5D Mark II. This was the first camera I owned that had the proper live view feature, but I used that screen to help me compose square images. The 5D didn't have a choice of aspect ratios like most modern mirrorless cameras do now, and so I made myself a cardboard square frame to place over the LCD screen to assist me in composing my favourite format for shooting landscapes, square. My first viewfinder free camera was the Panasonic GF1, a camera that I mentioned recently in a video that I was going back to shooting with simply for its, well, simplicity. A camera originally bought to use in the city environment and suddenly a new way of shooting too. A bit daunting at first, having no viewfinder, but it worked. It was okay. The move to Olympus and the EM5 brought me a tilting LCD screen. Now I could compose in the way that I was used to with my old Mamiya RZ film camera with its waist level viewfinder, looking down. I bought that camera to shoot that way, and it's a pleasing and very natural way to frame a picture. And that experience now continues with the Fuji X-T5. I like the Fuji because again it has a flip up screen. and I love that it has this flip up style of screen rather than the flip out screen. So I can flip it up and look down onto the screen to compose as quickly as possible. And to do that in the vertical format too. Perfect. So now I find I use the LCD screen all the time, and with the aforementioned GR3 and its twin brother, the X model. Maybe these cameras work better using just the LCD screen because they are smaller and lighter and less prone to camera shake by using them at arm's length. But maybe this adds to the reason I produce different results with these cameras than with my Fuji X-T5. They feel like freer and more relaxed cameras to use, and that can often influence the images that I capture. Now, the main reason we all like viewfinders, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that they allow you to close out the world, the wider view, and blinker our vision to just the scene in hand. But here I think we can learn a lesson from Leica. Leica cameras do use viewfinders, but the focal length in use is represented in the viewfinder by white frame lines. These allow you to frame your shot but still see the elements outside the frame. So if you're perhaps shooting a subject that will move into the shooting frame, it's useful to be able to see that subject approaching. But maybe the blinkered view of a viewfinder actually makes our compositions worse. Maybe being able to see the outer world at the same time is the answer to success. This approach seems to be working for me. I use the white frame lines available on the X-T5 in its sports finder mode too, when I do use the viewfinder. Does it actually help to see the outside world as you shoot? And do you need to see the distractions in order to successfully remove them? Shooting from the hip, shooting discreetly, keeping constant eye contact with your subject with portraits, the ease of shooting from low angles and from above your head too. The LCD screen has so many advantages, but it's surprising how much you can use it for general shooting too. When the camera is on a tripod, for instance, you don't have to have the camera set at eye level or have to bend down yourself to peer into the viewfinder to see. In fact, if you are a tripod shooter, have you realised how much you do rely on the LCD screen? Being able to easily shoot at low angles alone gives your results added impact, as shooting from standing height is not always the ideal. Would you shoot low by default if not for the LCD screen? I know I never used to. Now, I know what you're going to say, glare. You're going to say glare. You can't see the scene on the screen on a bright sunny day. Yes, I admit LCD screens are not perfect, but I've never really found this to be as much of an issue as others perhaps have, even in the brightest light. On the Ricos, I do boost the screen brightness by one-stop setting, and this allows a brighter viewing experience without giving a false representation of the exposure. The other issue with LCD screens is your vision. I think this is why the younger generation perhaps use their screens more than us older folk, or you older folk. No, you're old. No, you are. With age comes deterioration of eyesight, and I, like many of you, need reading glasses for close-up vision. Seeing my Ricoh's LCD screen without reading glasses is a bit hit and miss. Well, I have a solution for that works for me and may work for you too. I wear contact lenses, but I need to wear close-up glasses when I shoot with the Ricos, with my contact lenses in. So I had a pair of glasses made up, a clear glass pair, so my distant vision was unaffected, and therefore I didn't have to keep taking them off when not shooting. But then I had a close-up bifocal added to them. But instead of the usual position in the glasses of that prescription for reading purposes, I had these placed higher up in the frame for viewing and shooting with the Ricos. Problem solved. My photography, I think, has improved in the last 10 years. In that time, I've changed to mirrorless cameras. I've embraced smaller cameras. I've ditched the tripod and I've started using the LCD screen more and more to my advantage. even when I haven't needed to. And maybe it's this latter change that has been the key to this improvement in my work. So before you moan about it, before you dismiss cameras without a viewfinder or refuse to use a screen on your own camera, be sure it's not the key to your own improvement. I'll see you next time.